Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to talk about a problem that I've been encountering recently when introducing and talking about criteria with my staff here at school in the MYP. And that's about understanding the progression of the criteria from year 1 through to year 5 of the MYP. Often we talk about the criteria as this monolithic thing that does not change, but it does in fact change. It changes 3 times through the program. And understanding when that change occurs and what that change means can present a little bit of a challenge both to teachers and to students as they progress through the program. On the screen here is a document that I've started putting together for each subject in the MYP that visually begins to show some of that progression that occurs across the criteria through the program. This is designed for teachers, to reference, but also as a display item for students. You can find a link to it down in the description. You can see here, it's designed to show the upward trend of expectation from year 1 through to year 5 of the MYP program. Being, not entirely true. You can see that some of the criteria don't change in a dramatic fashion between years, year 1 versus year 3 versus year 5. But in general, it shows that the level of expectation does increase by stepping the criteria like this, essentially showing that a student performing at the highest level in year 1 would have to increase their level of effort by the end of year 3 if they were to continue achieving at the highest level. This is a conversation that comes up very often with students and with parents, where, they score highly in their end of year report card. They come in for the next year of school and they're not reaching the same level that they were previously, and questions are raised. And almost every time it's because the expectation has scaled with the increase in year level, and the student simply has to readjust to that so that they can begin performing again at the level that they're used to. This raises the question of, when do we change from one criteria to the next criteria? Now, the guidance given by the name of the criteria would suggest that you use the year 1 criteria for year 7 and year 8, year 3 criteria for year 9 and year 10, and then the year 5 criteria only for year 11. The idea being that the year 1 criteria are designed to be reached by the end of year 1. But then that leaves year 2 essentially in limbo. Do we have half a year with year 1 criteria and half a year with year 3 criteria? It's a question that is, from my perspective, very much open for debate. And if you ever look on online forums where this is discussed, everyone has their own method of this, right? Like just about as many methods as there are coordinators out there. From my perspective, having the pressure of MYP 5 with a whole new criteria is, in my opinion, a lot for a student to deal with. A new criteria, an exam year if you're doing the MYP certificate, personal project, all of these things built together are a little bit of, a little bit too much pressure. Pressure can be good. It can bring out the best in people, but we have to have a balance. And so what that means from my perspective is really the year 10s by the middle of the year of year 10 should be working to year 5 criteria already, with the aim of them reaching the highest levels of the year 5 criteria the end of the following academic year in year 11. And that then leads me to adopt a similar pattern with the other criteria. Although the pressure of performance is not necessarily there, I feel like a soft transition from the middle of the year before they enter the new criteria would make sense and is what I get my teachers to do. So that would mean that by the middle of year 8, the students are transitioning from the year 1 criteria into the year 3 criteria. And by the middle of year 10, from the year 3 criteria into the year 5 criteria. Communication here is really key. It comes first from the coordinator to the teachers that this is the expectation of us moving upwards in the criteria at these points. From the teachers then to the students, communicating that that change is occurring and that expectations are being increased from what they were before. And then from the school as a whole to the parent body, who are the ones that often are most confused by such changes. So all the communication really is what makes this work. Just making the change of the criteria and only telling the kids is going to lead to problems. Just telling the teachers is going to lead to problems. We need to make sure this step is, very visible, that it's on display in classrooms, that discussions are had with students, and that everyone really understands that when those step ups in expectation are going to occur and what it means for them. Next time, we'll talk about task-specific clarifications, which is another topic that I've been getting in the weeds on recently. But for now, if you have a different opinion, if you've got a different idea, if you've got something that really works for you, I really encourage you to put it down in the comment section below and let's talk about it.